And a good evening to you all. Welcome once again to the Shadow Gallery. I, as am always, your host, James Donnelly. And tonight, now, last week, I did my review vlog of Mass Effect 3. And that was after my first playthrough of the game. Now, something that has become painfully clear over the last couple of days, pretty much since I finished the game, well, after I did the review. Now, initially, I gave the game a 10 out of 10, and that, for the most part, still stands. But now we're going to get into a very kind of spoilerific discussion about the ending of the game. Now, I came across a website known as Gamefront.com through Twitter, and they had posted an article in which they say, it's very simply, Mass Effect 3 ending, 5 reasons the Mass Effect 3 ending hatred. 5 reasons the fans are right. And the thing that has stuck with me since the end of the game, and in reading the follow-ups, reading the various discussions, the various issues that people have had, the various problems that people have had, it has not been a good, BioWare and Casey Hudson and Mac Walters, responding to the criticisms of the ending of the game. It's not been a very good week for them. But it has been a very good week for them because the game is obviously, it's selling huge. It's one thing that's on kind of everybody's lips who is kind of an avid gamer, especially those who play RPGs. As I said in my Mass Effect 3 review, I am not a huge RPG fan, but I do love, unabashedly, the Mass Effect series. And it's my favorite series of games ever. And so when I got the collector's edition of this, I was very excited, and I still am excited. I'm about ready to sit down and... Okay, here's what I'm kind of getting at. Is I was ready to sit down and start my second run through, this time as my FemShep, and I said to myself, well, I'd rather actually do multiplayer right now. And the reason for that is being because I know what's coming. I know that when I get to the end, I'm going to have the 3 choices. Now, initially I thought there were only 2, but there were 3. Now, here's the other thing. Okay, so we have this ending where you are blasted by Harbinger's beam, and then you find yourself in the Citadel. There's you, there's Admiral Anderson, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, there's the Elusive Man, who you know that you're going to face there, but does he have any reason for being there? No, not really. Because, once it gets to a certain point, this would be the most obvious place that the Elusive Man would be. But if you kind of really suspend your disbelief, you could say, okay, well, I guess that's reasonable. And you have to face it. You have to face the Elusive Man before the end of the series, because this is indeed the end of the series. Now, then, of course, you have the option to kind of pull a renegade move and kill the Elusive Man, which I did. Admiral Anderson himself, you shoot Admiral Anderson in the throes of the Elusive Man's control, sort of his indoctrination, and Admiral Anderson eventually dies. You are, kind of left this bloody mess. But then this AI comes up and basically says, okay, well, and it takes the shape of the child that has been haunting Shepard's dreams ever since he couldn't save this child back on Earth when he tried to get him out. Now, and basically, of course, the AI tells him that you have these three choices, and here's where I had a problem with that, is because to me it really seemed like there were only two clear-cut choices. Is that you basically you destroy, you say to yourself, okay, well, I'm going to basically destroy all synthetics, including the Geth, and because you have synthetic parts within yourself that you had installed during Mass Effect 2, you yourself, Shepard, are going to die. But it's going to eliminate the Reapers forever. It'll eliminate all synthetics forever, and so that's one choice. The other option being that there is, you can become one with the synthetics. You can basically control the Reapers, and that's your renegade move. And then there's one where you just kind of apparently just you still stop the Reaper threat, but it's still, all of these choices basically end up with Shepard dead. Now, admittedly, I didn't want Shepard to die, but that's just, but I can see the game ending that way. But here's the problem, is that, and I'll go over some of the points that they make in this great article at Gamefront.com, and I highly suggest you take a look at it. One of them, the big one, a couple of the big ones, is that you've spent all of this time aligning yourself with, if you've been playing the Paragon, you've been aligning yourself with the Geth. You've been, basically trying to repair all of this damage throughout the galaxy, and it's a huge, epic, sweeping story, and these epic battles that you're going through, and in the end, really, it seems like it's all for nothing. That's where I have a real problem with this, is that it doesn't really seem to be, it undoes a lot of the work that you've done. By destroying the synthetics, you're destroying all of the Geth. You're probably destroying EDI, who you just basically kind of helped Joker, you've developed this, you've helped play Cupid for Joker and EDI. And anybody who might have synthetic implants, like Shepard, you're basically committing genocide, one way or the other. Any way that you put it. I mean, yes, you're destroying the Reapers, and they are bad, but you're destroying the Geth, who have proved that they can be good. Again, if you're playing the Paragon, which I did. The other thing is that there is no free will in the finale of this game. You can't, even the Renegade option is still unselfish. You still disappear. There's no option where you can say, you know what, I am, I'm just going to do the thing that's kind of, a more renegade-ish thing to do would be to have an option where you kind of don't do, not anything, but, basically you just do what you can, but you live. It's like, but there's something that you have to live with consequences of what you've done. Here's the other big thing, the really big thing. Now, in the DLC Arrival, which I believe is Mass Effect 2, you have to stop a Mass Effect, you have to stop a mass relay from exploding, because it will destroy all life in the star system. What you're doing at the end of this game as the Paragon, or I think as kind of the neutral option, I think in all three, in at least two of the three options, you destroy all the mass relays. Now, that is committing, if basically it ignores everything that we got from the Arrival DLC in Mass Effect 2. And that is that, apparently all these star systems are now safe from these massive mass relay explosions. So it's undoing that mythology that they entered into the series with their DLC, but it's also, you're not only destroying the mass relays, which could potentially cause billions upon billions of deaths, but you're also stranding all of the races that are on Earth fighting for Earth's survival. They're there. I mean, yes, there's FTL flight, but to get from one place to the other, you need the mass relays to get to the the far reaches of where they come from Tuchanka or wherever, from all the from all the different planets. And and that to me is just, it really flies in the face of everything that you've just done. So yes, the more I'm thinking about it, the more I'm really, really not liking the finale, the very, very ending of Mass Effect, because there's no closure with any of the characters. You have this moment with Joker frantically flying away from battle, and then all the people who were at least some of the people who were on Earth, they're on board. In my case, on the Normandy was, it was Joker, Liara, and the Prothean, and it's just like, what? How did these people get on the Normandy? Why is Joker fleeing from the battle? Who just died? What just happened? Why is, what planet did they land on? Why isn't there, why don't we have some further story there? Is there a legacy that Shepard actually leaves behind, maybe in the shape of a child, if he decided to have, a heterosexual relationship, or if he decided to have a homosexual relationship, or she, whatever. There's got to be some, Shepard cannot just be the Shepard. I appreciate that there's, kind of then there's, a synonymous kind of action going on with the name there. That's, Shepard himself is shepherding all of these different races together. And that's cool and everything like that. But I mean, like I said, the ending undoes everything that the game has brought forth. And that's really why the fans are right. So BioWare, if you are listening out there, get to work immediately on alternate ending DLC. And if you're going to do the smart thing, which I would think it is the smart thing, offer the DLC either at a very reduced price or just free of charge. Because you can see the kind of uproar that this has caused with your most loyal fan base. And because I'm not saying that the ending should be happy and puppies and rainbows, but there has to be some sense of closure, and there has to be some sense of free will. There's very, very little dialogue options that you have at the end of the game. The only thing that you really have are these 3 options. And that's not good enough. It's just not. There has to be something more. There has to be something more at the end there. So, I encourage BioWare, if somebody from BioWare is watching this, please do the right thing and get to work. If it comes out in 6 months to a year, that's fine, but please get us an alternate ending. Give us some more possibilities. Give us something more. We need it. We deserve it. Okay? As long fans of this game series, we deserve it. I think that you want to give it to us in the end. So that's it for my, please sound off on what you have to say. I'd love to hear what you have to say. Thumb it up, thumb it down, subscribe. I review comics and movies here too. So That's what I'm all about. So this is James Donnelly, the Shadow Gallery. We'll see you next time.